Hi guys, I'm back. It's been a really long time. The lighting in here effing sucks. Hold on, let's try this. How's everybody? So, my ring light's dying, so there goes that idea. Anyway, not a big deal. So, I have had intentions of making this video for like 2 or 3 weeks, and life has been insanely busy and crazy in a really good way, because every day, hey Junie, every day around work and working out if I go, which I haven't been going as consistently because I've been working on getting the new SPWF website up and running for our members. So it's been a constant work in progress. Hey Mama, hey Kay, hey Mandy. So just know that I'm not ignoring you guys on purpose. I've just had a huge, me and the volunteers have had a really full plate getting everything ready to launch our brand new and improved website. I'm so excited. There are so many things on there that you guys have asked for throughout all the years that we've been doing this, and you probably don't even realize you've been asking for it, but our tech guy is amazing, and he got it all up and running for us. So right now we're just like in a testing phase, porting content over, getting things live. Clearly I need a manicure and I didn't have time to go this weekend. Look how terrible that is. I have a broken nail. Embarrassing. Anyway, so I wanted to come in. I have my niece and my nephew downstairs. They are a little bit needy. They're still like on the younger side. So Mandy's laughing at me. So I have a really strong feeling that somebody's going to come up during this video. You're going to hear row, row, somebody screaming, or somebody needing me. Or if we go too long, I have like my whole entire family coming over for dinner. I said I would make rice and beans, and I haven't even started the beans yet, from scratch, not from cans. So got to make this quick, but my point in saying that is if this runs long, we'll try to do this again another time, but hopefully I can get through the whole thing. Hey Chastity. So I got a really amazing question from one of, oh, I miss your face more, from one of our SPWF sisters. She's overseas. She's become one of my very close friends through this life. So she submitted a question. I wrote out a long answer because, hey Lisa, because I wanted to get all my thoughts out on paper. Wrote it out like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I might have to read a lot of it because I probably forgot a lot of it and I want to get it all out. Hey Vanessa. So let me read her question first and then we'll go through the answer, but I thought it was really good. She said, hey Ro, can I ask you a question, as you are way more qualified and researched in all of this than me? Do you believe in the law of attraction like the book The Secret? I do believe in positive thinking, as I believe if you're able to have a positive outlook, you will see the positive in things rather than the negative in things. That makes sense. And will also make more positive decisions. So on the same page with that. So I decided to download the book, The Secret, and at the beginning I was all into it, but now I'm not so sure. I feel that if you follow The Secret, if anything bad happens, then you are to blame for this bad thing happening, as your thoughts brought it around you. Ooh, interesting. And if you follow The Secret and aren't to surround yourself with most needy things in society. Okay, let me read that line again. If you follow the secret and anything bad happens, then are you to blame for this bad thing happening, as your thoughts brought it around you? And if you follow The Secret and you aren't to surround yourself with the most needy in society, as surrounding yourself with people that need help would only attract the wrong things. So she's saying, if you surround yourself with people who need help, like let's use me as an example, right? I surround myself with prison wives, right? Who need my help and my assistance. So she's saying, if I don't surround myself with, let's say, like scholars and doctors or people that are like higher than me, am I putting myself in a negative position because I'm helping people who are in like years before where I am now? So I'm kind of attracting more negative in my life because maybe like some of the newer women are in a negative position. Do you understand what she's saying? These are really great thoughts, and I'm going to answer all of these. She said, and you don't make plans, as you have to trust the universe. Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm reading this right. And you don't make plans, as you have to trust that the universe will give you what you want through the power of your thoughts. Like with The Secret, if a woman got raped under the laws of this book, would she be to blame for taking that into her life with her thoughts? That's a really good question. I know that that's a bit extreme of an example, but do you know what I mean? Follow completely. I'm just interested in your opinion, if you don't mind, as I was excited to learn about this, but after researching it and listening to the audiobook, I've gone off of it completely. I do believe in positive thinking and having a positive mind frame, but I think also I believe in I think I also believe in sometimes negative thoughts and fears and worries coming in, and you don't have to think these things through and deal with them. And I believe in a higher power that we can ask for help sometimes. The Secret scares me a little, so that is why I thought I'd ask your opinion if you don't mind. Am I picking it up completely wrong? Thanks, M. Mandy understands. Good. Hey, Lisa. I don't know if I said hello to you. So these are really good questions. And I think that let's start by opening my notes back up and not dropping the iPad. Let's start there. Okay, so I totally think that this SPWF member is on the right track with this stuff and the way that she's handling these things. Because honestly, with anything self-help, we just have to, don't fall. We just have to consider it spiritual entertainment. So with anything self-help, spiritual, even religious, I think you need to take what works for you and leave the rest at the door. I love your positive mindset, and I love that you ask a higher power for help, because I find comfort in doing all of that too. So again, if you are listening to this and hey, Heather was the one that encouraged me to do this video today, because I probably would have waited another week if I didn't promise her last night that I would be doing it. Anyway, so I think with anything like that, like, you just have to do what works for you. There's no right or wrong. Like, nobody's going to punish you. Some of us were taught that you're going to get punished if you do the wrong thing. No, what works for you. I do personally believe in the law of attraction, but in my opinion, it's better to look at the law of attraction, The Secret, anything like self-help as entertainment. And as a lesson for you, like I said, to cherry pick the things that you like, what resonates, instead of like scripture and, for lack of a better word, doing it exactly word for word, because then it gets like stuffy. So from a psychological standpoint, your chance of getting what you want is higher when you focus on it, right? Absolutely. We can all agree with that. And then that's not just like metaphysical woo-woo out there spiritual stuff. If you focus on something, then you're focused to get it. You're more driven. You're more focused on it, for lack of a better word. I believe that shit. I believe that my sister-in-law just got here, so I might have to cut this short. But I believe that if you focus on something long enough, you become what you think about. So here's the twist. Listen to me, you guys. You already are what you thought you were your whole life. You already are what you thought you were your whole life. So The Secret, or really any book or any kind of spiritual entertainment or lesson, will, it won't or it can't magically switch your state of mind when you're stuck in the beliefs that you made and that you believe you are for your whole life in the first place. Does that make sense? Your mindset took years to acquire. So, for example, like if you're like, I'm a loser, then the chances are you've put yourself in situations and done things that you personally think, this is very personal, you personally think losers do day in and day out, year after year, because you told yourself you're a loser. You told yourself, I'm a loser. Eventually, you're going to become what your definition of a loser is, because you think that that's what you deserve. You've been telling yourself that. You believe it now. Someone maybe in your life told you that you were a loser, or maybe a situation in your life made you believe that all you deserve is to amount to being a loser. On the other hand, if you truly believe that you deserve to be rich, then you will continue to put yourself in situations that make you feel wealthy if you aren't already, if you keep telling yourself you're wealthy. And wealthy doesn't necessarily have to be financially or monetary. So I struggle with this one completely. I block extra finances. I overdrew my account just like a couple of weeks ago. I've said that a lot recently, haven't I? I gotta get my crap together. But no matter how many dollar signs are on my vision board, just putting it out there won't change the vivid memory of my mother telling me that I didn't deserve to eat off of china and I had to eat off of paper plates when I was younger. Or sent me to summer camp with like dirty stained towels, because at the time she told me I didn't deserve new clean towels like the other kids at summer camp. And as an adult now, I can look back and see all of her scars and her limiting beliefs that came out on me. And I understand, like, who wants to send their kid to summer camp with brand new towels when they're probably going to get lost, ripped, and ruined? But it could have been handled differently, because now as an adult, it's become part of my DNA to think that I don't deserve things. You know, she grew up in extreme poverty as a coal mining immigrant's daughter who went to bed hungry many nights, but that doesn't change. So I get where she's coming from looking back as an adult, but why she would tell us that we don't deserve things if she believed that we couldn't afford them. It was easier to say that, but at the same time, it doesn't change what has been kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Just inflicted, has been in my DNA for all of those years since. I can't just put dollar signs on my vision board and make that all go away. So how do we make that go away? Well, knowledge and understanding is the first step, right? I know it, I see why she was like that. I see that I do deserve more, but I can't just declare that I want to be rich without fixing those limiting beliefs first. So The Secret does not do a good job of explaining that you can't trick the universe into changing those beliefs for you. I can't declare that I want to make $1 million and expect to get it if I truly don't believe that I deserve it. Think about all of those documentaries you see on people who win the lottery and then blow billions of dollars within a couple of years. They have limiting beliefs, and on a deeper level, they felt they weren't worthy of all that money. Think about like celebrities who wind up going into all kinds of bankruptcy or whatever else, because yes, they make the money, but they don't keep the money because they believe that they don't deserve that money. And it's not just about money. Let's use an example we all can relate to. Let's talk about, not all, but a lot of us can relate to weight loss. You can't lose overnight what took years for you to gain. In the same way, you can't change your thinking overnight, because it took years to build that and condition yourself to be, to build up and condition yourself. I'm trying to half read and half not read, I'm sorry, as I hear them all downstairs. So it probably wasn't a good time to do this, but we're going to go with it. So let's see. Because it took years to build and condition, be it through experience, education, expectations, and even genetics. So it took all of that time for you to, let's say, put on weight. You're not just going to say one day on my vision board, have a skinny body, and then just wake up magically because The Secret says that you're supposed to attract that. There's a lot of stuff in between that has to happen. So, it isn't quite as automatic as many of those new age gurus in The Secret want you to believe. And I still believe that you could attract things to you. And I'm just giving you guys a background on The Secret and answering these questions before we get into her negative example, because that was a really good one. And I think as SPWF members, a lot of us are like lafer wives, or in a situation where like we're going to the very opposite in the very beginning, going to trial or something, and we're trying to remain positive, but you can't help those negative thoughts. And we're going to get there in a minute. Again, just want to give her the background, because I'm sure this is a question that comes up for you guys that are learning or studying or trying to practice this stuff. Or maybe if you listen to this, then you want to look into that stuff, or you're just you're grasping. You want something to help you. Hopefully this could help you, because I was here the way that this member is right now. And I had to do a lot of research and trial and error and figure it out on my own. So hopefully I can help share and pass it along to you guys. So again, I still believe in the law of attraction, but I see it in a different point of view. When you focus on something hard enough and long enough, then eventually you'll change your belief system. And once that belief system has changed, then your consciousness, can never say that word on the video, consciousness will open up. And you'll start noticing all of the possibilities and the opportunities related to whatever that was that you wanted to attract to you. So were those doors closed before, and all of a sudden, because you put it on a vision board, they magically open for you? No. Were they really closed before? No. You were just oblivious to them, and now, because you have it in the forefront of your mind and you're focusing on it and you're working hard and those opportunities are opening up, they're just jumping out to you as if it's a miracle, but they were there all along. So let's think about it as this example that I've used before in the past, and I'm sure you guys have heard it, but let's say you want to buy a brand new car, right? You don't see a lot of them on the street, so you decide that you want this car and you want it in this really unique color, and you get it and you're so excited, and then you're driving home and all of a sudden it seems like every other car on the road is not only your car, but it's that car in that electric blue that you loved and never saw before, nobody else had it. So does it seem like, is it a conspiracy that everybody's driving around and following you and figuring out what car and color you got so they could get it too? No. And that's the real secret behind the secret. The secret behind the secret is that you acknowledge your desires, and then they're in the forefront of your mind, and you keep working towards them, and then you attract them to you, as in you notice them. So here's the problem, the way, in my opinion, the way that the law of attraction has been abused in recent times. People like me who are vulnerable and gullible and desperate, people like me, people like prison wives, when we're in a bad situation, we sometimes are grasping because we're desperate. We need somebody to tell us it's going to be okay. We need something to give us hope and strength. We're seeking a magic pill. We want it fixed quick. We want a quick fix solution. We want it over and behind us. So our mindset is now focused on getting this help, getting it done, getting it over with, attracting the right things into our lives. And we're thinking about getting rid of the pain and feeling lack. We want that gone. We want what we want. We want to feel good. So when we find something to teach us how to cure our problems, we'll jump on it and hold on to it like bees to honey. And we want this magic of The Secret to do all of the work for us. So in my opinion, this is where the movie The Secret falls short. You can wish for something all that you want, and you could put it out into the universe, but without actually taking any action, it won't come true. I've been saying I want to leave my job and work from home for years, like as long as I've been doing this. You guys know, if you've been following me for 5 minutes, you know that I am so ready to move on from my job and do what I feel I'm called to do. But I've taken no action aside from complaining about it to anybody that'll listen to me. So yes, I could sit here and complain about how much I hate it, and I can put it on a vision board, but vision boards and complaining has gotten me nowhere except for remaining shackled to my desk, staring at my computer, vision boarding, and complaining about it 13 years later. And I know this is where I personally have fallen short for many years, and a lot of my friends and a lot of people that are new to this, that's where we fall into this trap. I recently heard that the movie The Secret and other law of attraction type works, I'm just using the movie The Secret because this is the resource that was referred to in this question, but there's plenty of other works that are very similar that explain the law of attraction, and I think that they fall short in areas, but I recently heard referred to as spiritual entertainment, and I actually loved that phrase because the movie is a great starting point for learning the concepts, but unless you fix your limiting beliefs, what we talked about first, and then follow it up with concrete action, it's just entertainment for your soul. And that was like a punch in the throat type of reality check for me. And that's not even close to a terrible thing, you guys. It's not bad, because I'd love to see kids entertained by movies like The Secret instead of playing, let's say, violent video games. At the very least, The Secret can help change your mindset to avoid the negative things that may keep you in a constant need to seek out quick fix solutions. And we'll get more into the negative stuff that this SPWF member so brilliantly pointed out in a minute, but I just want to finish this part first. I know I feel like I'm like babbling, but again, I wrote this a while ago, so I kind of want to make sure that I touch on everything. Another example is why is it that the books, this is such a good example for this SPWF member too, because she's into finance, but why is it that books on how to make money are more popular than those on how to save money? Because saving money is a sacrifice. It's work, it's hard, and you need to actually take action to do it. So, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to lose weight. You actually have to do it. You actually have to put in the hard work. It's a pain in the ass to cut your calories or to not eat sugar. It doesn't feel good. It takes a lot of willpower. It hurts to work out and to burn those calories. And it's a sacrifice. Same thing with saving money. But if you don't take that action, you're not going to get any further than maybe going up and down 2 or 3 or 4 pounds. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about putting out there what you want, getting really clear about what you want, putting it out there, and then, yes, staying focused on it, but taking those action steps to get it while focusing on it and changing your mindset about what you believe. And you could do that with positive affirmations. And we'll get into that. I have such a huge lesson on this coming out in the very near future, but this is just kind of high level. So I'm sure if you're still with me, you're like into this stuff. And if not, I will not be offended if you hop off and come back on when we're doing more of a like SPWF life related topic. But I find myself, and I find that a lot of our members really do well with these types of lessons to get them through this part of it, right? To focus on something and to attract the things in your life that you want while he's gone, so that when he comes home, you guys can go do take these positive steps and these actions together, so you're not caught in the revolving door of the prison system that 80% of people unfortunately get stuck in. Okay, but my members on SPWF are breaking that statistic, and we are doing the right thing. We're getting out, we're staying out, because we're fixing ourselves while we have this time, while he's gone, and hopefully he's doing the same thing. And this is like one of the tools that I've personally used in my life to do just that. And here we are 18 years later, and we're doing a great job. Okay, so as far as the negativity, where she asked the question in the beginning, and I hope that didn't like freak anybody out or lose anybody, but if you're like following, it makes sense why she would ask that. Totally understandable. So I totally hear you, and I honestly had the exact same fears and anxieties when I watched the movie. And it kind of makes me laugh, because so much for self-help helping us, right? It's making us anxious and paranoid about doing it wrong. It's funny. It's kind of like, for me, it's kind of like religion was. Something that was meant to be good caused me overwhelming anxiety. And after years of reading, research, and introspection on this very topic, here's my personal best interpretation that I want to share with you. Negative thoughts are normal. They're part of the human experience. To tell someone to shut off negative thoughts would be like telling somebody to stop breathing. You can't. It reminds me of a time a few weeks ago when we lost power at my house in the blizzard. Do you guys remember that? It was terrible. Everyone was bored in my house. So my mom kept saying, okay, let's talk. And so I would ask her what she wanted to talk about, and she would just say, let's talk. And so this went on. It was like a circle, right? Let's talk. What do you want to talk about? I don't know. Let's just talk. I teased her because she just kept talking about talking instead of just talking about something, about anything. It's something so natural, you just do it. So have you ever tried to meditate and you beat yourself up for thinking? Then you start thinking about not thinking because you're not supposed to be thinking, or like in church, you start thinking about something you're not supposed to be thinking about in church, and then you get overwhelming guilt, and then you keep thinking about not thinking, etc. 20 minutes later, you deem yourself a failure because you can't stop thinking about not thinking. See where I'm going? let's let ourselves off the hook here. You have 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. So it's only natural. Hi, Lovey. I knew it was going to happen. I'm just working for 1 second.
You're working?
I'm working for 1 second, and then I'm going to come down and cook.
Hi.
Okay, go back downstairs.
Okay.
Hi, love. Go back downstairs. I'll be right down in 5 minutes, okay? Can you shut that door?
Lily got us.
Yay!
Oh,
Commercial break. All right, guys, shut the door. I love you. I'll be right back down. Sorry, I don't think my sister and his sister-in-law want the kids on the videos, so had to get them out of here real quick. Anyway, so where was I? Okay, you have 70,000 thoughts per day, so it's only natural that a lot of them will be negative. And your mind has one major job, that's to keep you alive, period. So it's searching for, guys, hold please. Girls, Olivia, I need you guys to go downstairs, okay? They play in my makeup and ruin it. And that's what they were just about to do. Because ants have eyes in the back of our heads like mothers do. Anyway, so, Jennifer, they're my nieces, but yes. I get to give them back. Okay, so your mind has one major job, and that's to keep you alive. That's it. So it's searching for negative things. It's like on the lookout all the time. Like, what's negative? What do I need to prepare myself for? What do I need to avoid? What do I need to do to keep myself alive? So it's going to notice those negative things. It's normal. It's part of your brain and your body and your beautiful makeup to keep you alive. So let's reframe the negative thought thing. At their most basic level, negative thoughts are your brain attempting to keep you alive, which is a beautiful thing. I totally agree with you. Answer the other mother. I totally agree with you, except I do get to give them back. So the lesson is, when negative thoughts happen, don't dwell on them. Don't get absorbed in them. Don't fall down the rabbit hole. Acknowledge them, thank your body for keeping you alive, react to the ones that are alerting you of something dangerous. Wonderful. For example, if you're walking down a dark alley and see a man dressed in all black with a face mask approaching you, the negative thought of what could potentially happen needs a response, obviously, right? But when the thoughts are irrational, negative thoughts, which I have a long video planned for you guys. Oh no, Junie, I'm sorry. It's okay. Come back and watch it afterwards if you're into this stuff. So I have a really good video on anxieties and irrational thoughts related to our guys inside that I have not made yet, because I want it to coincide with the new website launch, because it's going to be good. And it's a question that I got from a ton of you guys. So know that that's coming, and that's going to go really well with this. But for now, we'll just say, when they are irrational negative thoughts, try to counter them and reframe them into something positive as often and as soon as you can after you have them. So again, I have a long video coming out about that, specifically with thoughts for our guys inside. Like, if you don't hear from them, you automatically think that he's stabbed in the hospital, right? Or in the hole, or who knows what. And I think that's going to really benefit majority of you guys. So know that that's coming. But in response to that rape example that this question came from, which I followed completely, I know she kind of felt bad saying it, but we can all say that we follow her mindset, because they're telling you if you think of negative things, then you're going to attract negative things in your life. And she's like, you can't tell me that somebody got raped to attract that into her life. So here's the way that I want to respond to that. In our guts, we know that that's a horrific situation. And unfortunately, well, first of all, horrific situations are not brought on by negative thoughts, period. That's how I look at it. Sometimes really bad things happen and freak accidents happen, and there's no explanation for them. I can't speak. And I can get really weird. Should I even say this? I could get really weird right now and talk about like past lives and burning off old karmas, but I honestly am still only dipping my own toe into that pool of research, and I don't really know how much or what I believe at this point. So we're going to like leave that off the table because it's really strange. And I just like to like read and research that stuff and try to figure out what I think might be true, but might not, and like what could probably happen. So we're not going to go down there, but let's just break it down like this. How I personally think about negative thoughts bringing horrific things into your life. I think that the only way for somebody to attract something like that to them, in the sense of the law of attraction and The Secret, would be to think about it over and over and over again and keep it in the forefront of her mind and to dwell on it all day long, over and over and over again, like they're telling you in The Secret to do with the positive stuff, which I don't really think anyone would ever do, right? Like, who would dwell on that and want that to happen to them? So if you think about it from that perspective, you can't attract, in the law of attraction sense, something like being raped or murdered or something horrific to you because of thinking about it, right? I think, caveat, putting yourself in harm's way over and over and over again, knowingly putting yourself in situations that could lead to some sort of similar experience happening to you, is the closest to manifesting bad things happening to you. So like, for example, a situation like the show Intervention, where like somebody's putting themselves in these horrible situations to get drugs, then they might, it's very possible and probable that something terrible is going to happen to them. But it's not because they're thinking about it, it's because they're putting themselves into these situations over and over and over again, very similar to that cliche, like if you play with fire, you're going to eventually get burned. And it's less like manifesting this horrible thing because you're thinking about it in a moment of anxiety or a natural negative thought. Do you see the difference there? I hope that helps. So the lessons that I personally like to take away from The Secret were summed up in a blog post that I recently read, where the author said this. I'm going to read it. I thought it was so smart. My wife said it the best on her breast cancer blog. She said that she wouldn't focus on battling her breast cancer because it would be very difficult to fight darkness. I mean, how can you conquer darkness? Do you stab it? Do you pull out your gun and try to shoot it? Do you meditate, pray, and positively think that it will simply go away by some miracle? Of course not. Really, the only way to fight darkness is to turn on the light. You must take action. Do you need a self-help book for that? Maybe if the self-help book shows you where the light switch is, or how to build a light source, or how to make money to buy a flashlight, or cheers you up as you patiently wait for the sun to come up. Self-help is self-help. You actually need to help yourself to make any self-help work. But to help yourself, you need to act, because if you buy a book on self-help, thinking it will save you miraculously, you might as well leave the book on the shelf help, or he said shelf help, get the pun, or the self-help shelf. After reading that part that guy wrote, part of me had to laugh because the simplicity behind his words. He's so right. But the good thing is, none of us are going to put that much work into attracting a terrible negative situation like the rape example. And a quick PSA, if you're struggling with addiction and putting yourself in those types of situations, like I said above, or said before, right above, knowing how dangerous it is, please call 911 and get yourself help, because nobody wants you or you don't need to live life that way. Otherwise, you're okay. The tough pill, at least for me, to swallow is putting the work into manifesting the things I just want to write on a vision board and wait for them to magically happen. It's like putting myself on a budget. That's specifically for this girl. For years, I've been saying that I have no money, I need more of it, but it wasn't until she sent me an Excel document for me to track where my money is going that I've become conscious of how and where I'm overspending. I'm not sure if I answered the question or made it more confusing for her or anybody else, but those are my thoughts, and I hope I made sense of it for you guys. So I was reading most of that off my iPad. So if you guys posted any questions, I'm going to stay for like 2 or 3 more minutes, and then I gotta go downstairs and cook because everybody's here. I learned when people get negative or things become negative, I evaluate it and look at the positive side. That's amazing. As far as people who are misinformed, their opinions I take with a grain of salt. That's so true. Like sometimes we give our power to other people and we put more stock in what they will think or what they tell us than what we know with our intuition and deep down that we want. So I think that is amazing advice, Jennifer. Misinformed people might tell you things, or a lot of times people give advice off of being jaded and their past experiences, and they think that they're helping you avoid things by telling you things, but it's one-sided and jaded, and it's their limiting beliefs being projected onto you. So if you want something for yourself and you've really assessed the situation, you truly believe deep down in your gut that's what you want, go after it. Fix those limiting beliefs, put some action into it, and nothing will stop you. You'll get it. So I think that's it. I think I lost a lot of you guys, unless a lot of people are at visit today. But I know that one was kind of like, could be out there deep, woo-woo, weird. But I also know on the other side that, first of all, I got the question. I thought it was great because I am into this stuff and I wanted to help this SPWF member. But also I know a lot of our members believe in that stuff. I hear little footsteps. Let me go before they break in here. Keep staying strong. It's awful when it comes to thinking negative. I always think of the worst, and anything else is a bonus because I think positive and the worst happens. It would hurt me. Sarah, I think that's normal. And I think that's part of, it's like a learned behavior where we're bracing ourselves for the worst possible scenario. So my challenge to you would be, how can you challenge those negative thoughts, and how can you do it more quickly than you've doing before? How can you counter and reframe them and then create positive affirmations out of them so you don't get trapped in those negative thoughts? Like, it should almost be more expected that the positive thing happens versus, oh my God, I'm so shocked that something positive finally happened for once. This way, you're training your brain to search for the positive versus training your brain to search for the negative, attract more negative, or not even attract more negative, but when you're searching for the negative, your brain is trying to answer a question where something negative, where something negative, and then you start seeing, like the shiny red car, all of the negative stuff, and then maybe a positive thing might happen. You're like, oh, well, I guess a positive thing could happen once every 10 years versus searching for the positive, attracting, seeing the positive, because that's where you're focusing on the shiny red car, the brand new sports car that you just bought. And then something negative happens and you're like, oh, okay, how do I make that positive? Because your brain's searching for something positive because you're on that wavelength. So I hope that makes sense. It's all really fun. At the very base, it's just like human psychology. And to me, it's fun because I'm like obsessed with anatomy, physiology, how your brain works, psychology, etc. So we can get into this more another time if you guys want. If it's not your thing, that's cool too. I could do more videos, and then I could just like label them as weird and woo-woo. And then, but you know, like I take this stuff into visit life. So when I'm driving to visit and like, oh my God, you could drive there thinking, oh my God, my outfit's not going to work. Oh my God, I'm not going to get through processing. Oh my God, they're going to be too slow and I'm not going to get in for 2 hours and then I'm going to be late and I'm going to have to go after count. Or you could think the whole way there, everything's going to be fine. You know, I'm going to get in, blah, blah, blah. If something bad's going to happen, if your outfit's not going to get through, it's going to happen regardless if you think positive or negative about it. But try to make it a more positive experience for yourself. Look for the positive from everything. Yes, Lisa. Okay, gotta go. Keep staying strong, keep loving strong, keep supporting one another through this journey because you're one day closer to it all being behind you. Lots of love from my heart to yours. And before I go, you guys, can you comment below and let me know if this is something that you're into or not? And if it's not, please, I will not be offended. Just be honest with me so I know if this is something I need to address more of in the future or if this was something that I should have just answered this member privately in an email and not wasted anybody's time talking about this stuff. But I'm sure, I'm like 100% certain that everyone can get something out of this no matter what your belief system is, no matter if you believe that everything is about science, because this is also science. Just FYI. Or if you're like really, really, really religious, you can get something out of this as well. So my mother is very devout, old school, off the boat, Italian, Roman Catholic. And I've been feeding her this stuff too, and she works it into religion too. So any end of the spectrum, I'm hoping you can get something out of this. I just want to know if you want to hear more about it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Hopefully you rest, relax. If you had a visit, you got home safely. It was a good one. And if you didn't, hopefully you just relaxed, got through the weekend, and are prepping for whatever it is you have to do this week. Just comment below. Let me know if you're into this stuff or not. Love you guys. Bye. I can't wait to show you the new website. So that'll be soon too. Bye, guys.